You raise the Google Ads budget expecting growth. But what if the account is just taking credit for demand you already had? Because a good ROAS doesn't necessarily mean you're growing. Brand searches, remarketing, and past buyers can make the account look stronger than the growth it's actually creating. I'll show you a simple way to check this. And I'm going to test it on 3 real e-commerce stores with 3 very different situations. The 3 stores I'm using are current clients from accounts I manage. The details are hidden, but the numbers are real. In the last video, I covered the e-commerce numbers that matter when you're trying to grow with Google Ads: CAC, LTV, and break-even ROAS. I also shared a checklist with the formulas. But looking at it again, I realized it was too manual for something you should be able to check quickly. So I built a free calculator that gives you a first read in about 5 minutes. I'll show you how to fill it in, then use it on 3 stores, 1 growing steadily, 1 focused on efficiency, and 1 seasonal store with a heavy promo period. The calculator, though, is just a first read. I'll explain when to trust it and when to dig deeper. There are 4 e-commerce growth numbers we care about. Customer acquisition cost, or CAC, is what you pay to bring in 1 new customer. Lifetime value, or LTV, is what that customer is worth over the next 12 months. If customers come back and buy more, you can usually afford to pay more to acquire them. Break-even ROAS is the minimum ROAS you need from Google Ads for a customer to become profitable, based on your margin and customer value. Marginal cost is what you paid for the last few customers as spend increased. It's an early warning sign because your average CAC can still look healthy while your recent customers are getting more expensive. Together, these numbers tell you whether you still have room to grow or whether more budget is starting to push into the same demand. The whole calculator runs in your browser. Nothing gets uploaded. Let me show you the fastest way to use it. Open the calculator page in Chrome. Then open Google Ads and Shopify in other tabs. I like doing this in split view because it keeps the instructions and the account next to each other. Right-click the Calculator tab, choose Add tab to a new split view, then put it side by side with the Google Ads. On the Calculator page, scroll to the section when we need ad spend by month. Open the Google Ads Advisor chat, then paste this prompt. Show a table of monthly spend across all campaigns, all statuses for the last 12 full months, broken down by month only, oldest to newest. Send that, and Google Ads should return a table with 1 row per month. Take a screenshot of the table. On a Mac, that is Command-Shift-4. Now switch the split view from Google Ads to Shopify. In Shopify, go to the home screen and open the sidekick, the box that says Ask Anything. Paste this prompt. Pull a table of new customers per month for the last 12 months, starting from the first day of the oldest full month. Send that, and Shopify should return a table with new customers by month. Take a screenshot of that table too. One caveat in the CAC number. CAC here is a Google Ads spend divided by Shopify new customers. So if you run other paid channels like Meta, read it as a trend, not a perfect dollar amount. But for stores where Google Ads is the main paid channel, that is usually a good enough read. Now we need 3 economics numbers. First, gross margin. This is order value minus product cost as a percent. For this account, it's 58. Then we need 12 months spent per customer and average first order value. In Shopify, use the search bar and type customer cohort analysis. Open that report. In the settings, switch the metric to amount spent per customer. Then read the 2 numbers from the oldest month, not from the old cohort's average. In this example, the first order value is $57.91, and the 12-month value is $60.01. Now go back to the calculator page and click Use AI to fill this in. Enter the gross margin, which is 58%, enter the 12-month spend per customer, which is $60.01, enter the first order value, which is $57.91. Then click Copy the prompt. Open your AI chat of choice. I'm using ChatGPT here. Paste the prompt, attach the 2 screenshots, and send it. ChatGPT should return a link. Click the link and the results page opens with the data already filled in. That's how you fill it in quickly. Now, let us read it. The first store is a steady growth store. This store spends around $3,000 a month on Google Ads. There's no seasonality, no hard promos, and no weird spike in the data. So, when the calculator compares the first 6 months with the last 6 months, the read is clean. The verdict is growing. Spend is up 18% and new customers are up about 26%. Average CAC is about $29. Marginal cost is about $21, which means the last customers came in cheaper than the average customer across the period. That's an exceptionally good signal. The store spent more, got more new customers, and the extra customers came in at a better cost. The break-even ROAS is 1.43. The 12-month customer value is about $111, compared with about $29 to acquire a customer. So the headroom bar says room to grow. On the chart, the ad spend is climbing. The new customers are rising along with it, and cost per new customer is a little lower. That's what you want to see from a growth store. For this account, keep going, but watch marginal cost. If it starts climbing above the average, don't keep raising the budget just because the verdict says growing. Check the funnel, campaign structure, and whether the extra spend is actually reaching new customers. Now let's look at the second store. This one looks worse at the first glance because the verdict is pulled back. Spend is down 13% and new customers are also down 13%. Mechanically, that is a pullback, but in this account, the store has been run for efficiency, so spend came down on purpose and new customers came down with it. That is not a failure, it was planned this way. CAC is about $15, customer value is about $56, and break-even ROAS is 1.64x. The headroom bar still says room to grow. That's useful to know. There's still room to grow profitably when the business is ready to push again. So for this store, I would not change anything either. The third store is where you need to be careful. It has a big November through January peak and a heavy promo period. That makes the first 6 months versus last 6 months comparison misleading because the calculator doesn't account for seasonality. The better comparison for this store would be high season against the previous high season and low season against the previous low season. For a store like this, the calculator isn't enough to make a budget decision. I'll show you what to do instead in a second. When you run this calculator on your own store, treat the verdict as a first read, not a budget decision. Use it to spot where you could look next: marginal cost, account structure, room to grow, and the break-even ROAS. Then, when the result is not clear, and in a complicated account it often is not, I can run a full growth check for you, free of charge. I'll just need a little more context about your business and your actual numbers. After you request it, I'll follow up with what I need. To get it, scroll to the bottom of the calculator results page and enter your email to request the free full growth check. That growth check will go deeper than the calculator. There, I will analyze seasonality, promos, brand versus non-brand history, then show you where growth is actually slowing down. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.